reflect those of the PFC Entertainment Network or any of the affiliates that make this show possible.
And we welcome you to the Sports Reel podcast live on the PFC Entertainment Network. Along with Tim Sheridan and Eric Mendal, I am Jason Clouse. We certainly appreciate you tuning in here. A little bit of technical hiccups. I don't know if it's the wind blowing. I don't know if it's just because it's been a really weird winter so far. But be that as it may, we are live across the platforms on Facebook, YouTube, and Riverside.fm. We're going to be breaking down the Pistons, the Red Wings, a look at the Super Bowl, all that and more. But before we get to all that, gentlemen, good to see you. Tim, how's things in your neck of the woods?
You know, Jason, they're going pretty good. Besides, we still have your weird screen of loading stuff up on there. So technical something's going on, and I just blame it on the weather because the weather's been complete shit these last few days. And it's been cold and dumb, and I'm over the cold, and let's just bring on the spring because I'm ready for the spring right now because golf season is around the corner. I keep talking about that, and but I'm excited to have another wonderful show here on a Tuesday. We got so much to talk about. Eric, how you doing, brother?
Not too bad, surviving the cold, but Saturday's supposed to be 21 and it's going to feel like it's spring, but I'm ready for it to be over with, and a lot of news to talk about and ready to get it rolling.
Hey, real quick, I just want to make mention of this. I went and saw the Harlem Globetrotters over the weekend, and oh my God, what a show!
Dude, I haven't seen that since I was a kid.
I had neither.
I never have.
They were at the last time I saw them. They were at the Palace of Auburn Hills, and we went for like a school field trip. But my girl's son, his birthday was this past weekend, so we took them down to LCA to see them, and oh my God, it was just as fun as an adult all these years later as it was back then. 100 years they have been doing this. Just insane.
Wow.
They are awesome. Like I said, I haven't seen them since I was a kid, but when I was a kid, they were fun to watch. Mm-hmm. It almost kind of reminds me now they're kind of doing the same thing baseball wise with the Savannah Bananas. And those guys are cool too. But the only hard part about it is to be able to go and watch them. You have to get in a lottery to buy tickets.
I've never heard of them.
You've never heard?
No,
you got to check out the Savannah Bananas. They're wild.
My age is showing.
They are so much fun. But like you can't just buy tickets. You literally have to get in a lottery. And if you win the lottery, then you get the opportunity to purchase tickets.
That is ridiculous.
And I think it's just a way for them to stop somebody just buying up a shit ton of tickets and then reselling them on the secondary market for 10 times the markup.
Probably.
That's the way things are nowadays, unfortunately. But if you Eric, go on TikTok, man, and look these guys up. They are phenomenal.
I'm gonna have to.
Yeah, for sure. We have special guests with us this week as we break down the last week's World of Sports. Tim, you want to do the honors?
Yes, I will. Today, and this has been, I think, about a month in the making since I first got in contact with you guys, but I've been following your guys' stuff since I started out on TikTok. We started our TikTok about 2.5 months ago, and your guys is one of the first accounts that popped up, and I really dug your guys' stuff. So after a couple of months, I finally decided to reach out and see if you guys want to join us. But I am so thankful that you guys did. We have CB and it's Keith, right?
Yes, sir.
I got that right. From the 411 podcast. You can catch them on TikTok, but I'll let them fill in all their other stuff here in a minute. How you guys doing?
Good. Dealing with the same weather. I'm not in Michigan, but dealing with the same weather because apparently the weather is bad everywhere. So Yeah, same old.
Yeah, I think. Where are you located at?
I am in New Jersey, northern New Jersey, so maybe
Oh.
about 15 minutes outside of New York City, and we got a cool 11 inches of snow this past weekend.
So
That is more than us.
Yeah,
so
you guys been getting it worse than we have.
Yeah, a mess for sure. But go ahead, CB.
Yes, so we have been in contact with like you said, we've been in contact for about a month, and definitely happy to be on you guys' show. Like you said, you can follow us on TikTok, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. I appreciate all of our TikTok followers, all of our new listeners that we just got. But yeah, so I'm in Oakland County, Michigan, and yes, it's very cold. I believe we got maybe about 7 inches.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty close to what we got. Cause, I mean, we're in.
They're not far from us at all.
Yeah,
we're Lapeer County.
We're Lapeer County. Jason, you're Genesee County.
Yeah, he's Genesee County.
Now, I am now just across the border in Oakland County in Holly.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. So, yeah.
All right. Well, it's great to have you guys with us here tonight. We are broadcasting this live across the platforms of the PFC Entertainment Network. Let's start with some breaking news of sorts that actually Eric brought to my attention just before we came on the air here. Kind of a controversial ruling here, but it apparently the Michigan High School Athletic Association has opened the door for high school athletes to profit off of name, image, and likeness deals in the state, extending this NIL deal to high school students. Now, we sat here not all that long ago and had a discussion, was this a good thing for college sports, specifically football and basketball? But now we're starting to extend that to high school students. And the first thing that I thought of when I heard this and read it is my son. My son, it has a lot of attention on him right now in baseball. He is a phenomenal baseball player. And as a dad, I'm sitting here, thinking, Jesus Christ, how do I feel about this? Because I haven't had a whole hell of a lot of time to process it yet. Tim, your son is very much into golf and is a phenomenal player in golf. If he was offered something like this, how would you feel about it?
I would just say it's time to start paying some rent, boy. Like the free ride is over. You know what I mean? But yeah, no, this is crazy, and it's a hard one. And when you were reading through that article, Jason, I have to ask because I haven't had a chance to read the article yet. Obviously, Eric sprung it on me at the same time. Is it a state by state thing?
Yes, Ohio has already passed it, I believe, because it went to court and they passed it. Now it's going to Michigan, and I believe what else I heard is it's up to the parents. So the parents are kind of in charge of what happens. So that's not really that good either, because some parents, but continue with what you're saying.
No, I'm just saying. It's a weird one. I'm kind of iffy on the whole college thing. Like, I think it's kind of ruining college football in a way, but not really ruining it. But I think, you're starting to see schools with the most money start to attract the most talent. And I think it's becoming non-competitive for a smaller school that doesn't have as much money. And I think that's going to be a similar situation in high schools. And on top of that, I mean, I don't even know if it's possible, but kids are staying in college longer now in order to keep collecting the NIL money because, and unless you're a first or second round draft pick, the money's better in college. So is that going to be a situation where kids might try flunking in high school so they can play another year in high school to collect money? I don't know. Like it's so up in the air, but I mean, if my kid gets offered money, because obviously he's going to be playing high school golf this year, it's going to be his first year. And yeah, he is really, really good. And I don't know how it would feel if they offered him money to play. Like it would be crazy. Like, is it something that another school comes up and says, hey, like, we'll give your kid this much money to play? And like, yeah, no, I'd probably start charging him rent.
Well, it's technically not the schools. It'd be like car dealerships, restaurants, stuff in the community that can offer to give money to the schools to pay him. So it's in the community. So it's not just the schools offering money like it is in college.
Well, I mean, you know where we are. We're Lapeer County, and we have a lot of boosters. I mean,
But
they pay for the whole damn football field.
But I've also heard the last couple weeks that they're talking about moving public and private school championships separate.
I could see that too.
And if that comes through, then you kind of have to, because private schools are going to have more money to offer student athletes more money. You know?
Yeah.
How do you guys feel about it, CB?
I'm a little iffy about that, only because one of my friends, I've been to a game where the kids are maybe like 8 or 9 and it's a basketball game, and the parents are just screaming that their kid isn't in, and it's really intense as a 8 and 9-year-old. And I think that with money on the line, I think that there will be a lot of more arguments, a lot of more fights, a lot more parents being entitled, like, my kid needs to be in, we're playing for money, we're playing for scholarships, for college, things of that nature. I don't know how I feel about that. Now, on the other hand, if there are maybe families that are struggling financially, this could help them. But on the other end, I don't know if you see where Deion Sanders is now fining his players if they miss practice, if they miss trainings, things of that nature. They're already becoming a little bit entitled and a little bit too big for their britches. So I don't know how I feel about that with high school.
That's fair. Keith, what's your opinion on it?
You know, all of it really is just, it sounds so good in theory, because obviously money is being made when the players are playing, especially on the college level, where it's just so much money that's being brought in. But it just seems like it turns into kind of a free-for-all. Like, there's no logistics or anything that's put into it. There needs to be some kind of a set standard, because as we're starting to see with the NIL and with the transfer portal and all these things, you start to see chaos erupting essentially. And it's kind of flipped the sport on its head a little bit. So I can only imagine what that would turn into, because it's even harder to regulate, because there are just so many high schools. Like, how do you narrow down on that? Like, whose job is it necessarily to do that? So I would love to see some kind of rules be put into place to go along with these things, because you're seeing players who just are jumping ship and going to these places and signing contracts with these teams. I think of the Damon Williams kid with the University of Washington about to jump out of his NIL deal that he just signed and then go to play with Lane Kiffin, but then turn around and change his mind. Stuff like that just shouldn't be happening. Like, that doesn't really make any sense. So, again, in theory, it sounds great for the players to get money if the schools are profiting off of them, but there's got to be a line to be drawn at some point between what can and can't be done.
100%. I agree with you on that. And the only thing I have to go against you, Tim, earlier when you said about kind of ruining college football, is it is, but if it didn't happen, we wouldn't have Indiana winning their first national championship this year, because they hired that coach and a lot of players transferred and they were able to do what they need to do. But it's a double-edged sword, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It's a double-edged sword, because they need to, like Keith said, you do need to make some rules, because you can't just, I'm going to sign here, then jump ship, then it's because you don't like it. They do need to make some rules in college, and who knows what it will turn into in high school.
I mean, it's one of those things where I'm looking at it now and I'm thinking about it more. I mean, throughout Michigan, we already have school of choice. So there's a lot of schools that kind of get, sports players from other districts to come in and play for their teams, for whatever reason. We had it a lot because I grew up in Port Huron. And when I was growing up, it was always a battle of like, who's going to go play for Northern, who's going to play for PH, and Northern would try to get all the good players off the football team to come play for them. So, like, you would have kids that would transfer back and forth between high schools to play for that. But now it's going to come down to a money issue, too, because you're going to have a booster out there. Mm-hmm. Like you said, it's not the school in particular, but you're going to have a booster out there that goes, if you come play for this team, I'll give you, $10,000 to come play for this team for the year, Yeah. So it's going to really draw a lot of the top athletes in the state to the schools that have the money for boosters, and like, I could see that being a big thing in Lapeer County because like I said, Lapeer, their whole football stadium was paid for by boosters. Like we have a lot of boosters in this area that pay a lot of money, and we already have a pretty decent football team. They're not good enough to go on and win,
that's what they would
state
try to
championship, but they would try to do that. And that now this would open up the ability for those boosters to be able to help pay for that to bring a state championship to Lapeer. Not that I think that I'm tossed up because, like I said, Jason's probably tossed up too because he has a kid in high school playing high school sports. I have a kid who's about to start high school sports, and if they could make money, should we stop them from doing that? I don't know. I don't like the idea of it because I think it brings an unfair advantage to schools in lower income areas and everything else to try to draw some of their best talent out of that area to the schools that have the money. And I don't agree with that at all. You're not going to have as competitive you're not going to have competitive playoffs in high school sports anymore. It's going to come down to one or two teams, I imagine.
That's why they're talking about separating, private and public school.
Well, yeah, because obviously they should do that anyway. Because private's always been that issue, anyways. Yeah. Because they had the opportunity to offer free tuition to players to come there and play. When you're talking about $30,000-$40,000 a year to go to school there, it's a similar situation. Private high school is almost like college in a way. They charge an exorbitant amount for tuition, and they attract, or they try to get all the best athletes to come there by giving them free tuition.
And I dealt with that because when I was in high school, we made it to the playoffs my senior year. If we would have won our last game, we would have played someone in the public school. We played Orchard Lake St. Mary's private school. We didn't win.
Yeah, we probably stopped.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Like this is crazy. Like this is a whole different world we're entering. It's bad enough in college now, and now we're talking high school. And
Ohio's already done it, I believe.
Yeah,
like I said,
and Michigan will do it too. I mean, and at the same time, but when you're talking about NIL, it's name and image likeness. These schools really aren't making money off of these kids in high school.
No.
So I don't understand what this is for, other than trying to spend money to win championships on a state level for a high school, for boosters, because you're not selling jerseys for your star quarterback in high school. You're not, they're not making video games. They're not making commercials.
The only one that probably was making money off of jerseys was Arch Manning, because his name when he was in Texas.
Probably.
That's probably the only one.
Probably.
But yeah, that was just a good little thing to bring up because I heard that and I'm like, that's kind of interesting to hear, but Jason, let's
I think they should keep it at college.
100%. I agree with you on that.
Yeah, I am. As I listen to everybody weigh in on this, I'm sitting here thinking about it too, and I just leave it. Just leave it alone.
Yeah.
There's got to be a line somewhere. These are still kids at the end of the day. Okay, it's just. Man, let them be kids. Once they get into college, then the whole other world opens up to them, and leave it alone. That's just the bottom line. Leave it the hell alone. All right, let's switch gears here and focus on what went on last week with the Detroit Pistons. I don't know what the hell is going on with Riverside not uploading my graphics, but
dude, don't even just the whole thing. And I'm sure, have you guys been having trouble with TikTok too over the last few days?
Yes.
Yeah. I haven't been able to post.
Yeah, I was able
on
to
my
post.
story.
Yeah, 0 views I've been getting off of. I was putting out posts every day, 0 views, and mine has just started working again today. So I'm sure the internet's just messed up. I don't know if it's the weather going across the U.S. right now. It's got to be, but yeah, it's been crazy. So Jason, you might not be able to get this stuff to load today. So we might just have to do it old school with no graphics.
Well,
read it off.
It's crazy because I'm looking on the Facebook feed and it just shows a black screen, but I can see the damn thing on mine. It is so weird. All right, let's do it real quick. Last Wednesday, a 112-104 win over the New Orleans Pelicans. Friday, they dropped one. I actually watched this game. dropped one to the Houston Rockets, 111-104, and then Sunday they rebounded in a big way, a 139-116 win over the Sacramento Kings. Uh, Last week, man, I mean, aside from the Houston game, we saw Kate Cunningham back. He's looking great, being named to the All-Star team and all that. We talked about that last week. But aside from this game with Houston, it was a banner week for the Pistons. Tim, how much of this did you see?
Me, not a whole lot this past week. One, because I've been super busy with work. Two, I was wrapped up in football. Three, I was also wrapped up in golf. But I did go through all the results of the week. So I caught, highlights of the games. It was a good week. I've been excited about the fact that Kate got, selected for, as a start of the All-Star team. We talked about that last week. And then Bickerstaff also got, selected as the head coach for the East in the All-Star game. So
Wow.
he's rolling out there with his head coach, so it should be a good All-Star game this year. I'm looking forward to that one. But the Pistons, what'd they end up with the record last week?
2-1.
2-1.
Yeah.
Pretty respectable week. I'm not going to complain about that at all. I mean, they're still rolling.
Yeah, they're still first in the Eastern Conference.
Yeah.
33-11.
Yep.
Yeah, and by a decent margin. I think they're still up about 5 games on Boston. So, yeah, I will say last week, I caught 2 out of the 3 games. I happened to miss the game, of course, they lost against the Rockets. But it seemed like the thought from that game kind of came up again where having a secondary creator is a big thing that the Pistons need to start considering. Kate Cunningham obviously is the guy. He's the star. I trust him to lead us to whatever we need to be led to. And I honestly love the makeup of the team, and I don't think they need to make like a big shakeup or anything like that. At the same time, I do think that sometimes they can be lacking in either outside shooting. They're, I think, 27th, I want to say, a 3-point percentage in the NBA this year. And it's just not the way that they play, because they also lead the NBA in points in the paint, rebounds, all those kind of things. They do those things really well. But I do think a secondary creator, somebody who can get their own shot, even if it's a bench guy. I know Jaden Ivey has been shooting the ball well, but getting to the rim has been a little bit of a struggle for him since he's come back. So I do think that teams like the Rockets that play super precise defense can give the Pistons a little bit of fits. I still think this team can beat anybody in the 7-game series. But I wonder if you go up against the Thunder, if you go up against a Boston team, especially if Boston is to get Jason Tatum back potentially later in the season, that secondary creation, where exactly is that going to come from? Because Tobias Harris post-ups don't necessarily inspire me the most.
That's fair. That's fair.
No, yeah, and I don't think they should go too deep when it comes to trying to pick somebody up. I don't think they need to pick up a superstar, but I wouldn't mind another shooter, somebody who can drop those last minute shots that they need. Robinson's done an okay job for it this year, especially from the 3-point line. But I think they don't need a superstar. They just need one more shooter, and I think they'll be perfect. But at the same time, like you said, I don't even know if I want to mix it up. They got so much depth on that bench. Like even with Cade sitting, because he was banged up a little bit, they're still winning games, even with them sitting. But is that going to carry, down the line when they go face some of these big teams out of the West, like that, the West kind of scares me a little bit, but I think there's only a few teams there that actually worry me. Obviously, Thunder,
San Antonio.
Clippers, San Antonio. The Clippers have had our number. Every time we face them this year, they beat us. So, there's teams out there that worry me, but I do think in a 7-game series, I don't think anybody can beat this team. They're just too good. They got too much depth on the bench, and I think if they added one more shooter on this team, they'd be unstoppable.
Yeah, Malik Monk from the Kings, he had a couple of highlight plays against the Pistons a couple of days ago. And I'm just thinking, maybe just keep him in the stadium. Don't let him, don't send him back to Sacramento. They're a hot mess anyway. Let's just keep him. Somebody like him and maybe an additional 3-point threat that can stretch the floor off the bench, something like that. But Yeah, I'm not a big fan of necessarily shaking it up either, because if you go for a Laurie Markkinen or somebody like that, you're going to have to give up so much that it just changes the identity of the team. And this team is in first place by 5 full games. Like, how much do you really need to shake it up?
No, and I feel you there. Like, I've been seeing all these rumors online that they're talking about, like, possibly they're taking offers for Ivy, and it's like, no, don't get rid of them. You know what I mean? Just like, just go pick somebody up. Like, you don't have to trade somebody like Ivy. Just go pick up somebody like, that middle level player that can shoot. You know, you don't need a superstar, so you don't need to trade Ivy to try to, like, boost it up to try to get a superstar. Let's just run it the way it is. Maybe just grab one more shooter, and we should be good to go.
I agree.
Agree. Yeah, I still have some faith in Ivy figuring it out. I think that the broken leg plus the knee surgery, like, it's going to take some time for him to figure it out. But he still's got the jump shot. And I saw somebody mention on social media earlier today, like, why sell low? If he's not necessarily where he needs to be at, but hopefully he works back, why sell low on him? Like, let's just see if he can continue to give us whatever we need from him. If he's going to be a three-point threat and that's it, rock with it. Just rock with it. And we can get some creation from somebody else potentially.
Exactly. Yeah. If you want to move on from him eventually in the future, wait till he gets his stuff back. But it takes time to come back from injury. It's not an overnight thing. You got to get back into the groove of things. You got to get working, and he's had some highlights since he's been back in there, but he's just not consistent yet. Just give him some time to get consistent.
And he might turn on right in the right time in the playoffs.
That's when it matters.
It's still, a long season. We're only 45 games in, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're not even you're right about almost to the halfway point.
Because there's 80 games. Yeah, so you're about to the halfway point and all that. So yeah, just let him feel it out, let him get his groove and all that, and don't mess up that locker room. Because every Pistons team we've had that won the championship has been a team. 89, 90. The 04 Pistons has always been a team. It's never been one superstar, a couple superstars. Has been a team here, and that's what we have right now. And I have a lot of faith in this Detroit team, and I'd like to get your guys' opinion. How do you feel with what you've seen so far, what kind of run they're going to make? Because a lot of people are saying they could win it all, but I'm not going to go that far to it.
Yeah, CB, you want to go first?
Yeah, I mean, I think we can make a deep run. I think we have the depth. I love what the coach has done to turn around this thing. I mean, a year before Bickerstaff got here, we were at 9-10 games winning, and then the next year we make the playoffs. I mean, it was unbelievable what he has instilled in this team. I think we learned a lot of lessons from losing to the Knicks. I think we got their number, and yeah, I definitely feel that maybe championship, but I definitely feel we can make a deep run.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a big believer. And CB will. I give them a hard time a lot in the house, because when they were struggling, and Cade Cunningham was like, we lost 28 games in a row. Like, there's no way we're this bad of a team. If you were watching those guys play every night, like I legitimately was watching them lose all those games, and I'm like, this team is not that bad. Like, they are a move away here or there from being a decent team. The coaching with Monty Williams is obviously a joke. To be able to upgrade in that area alone has made such a big difference. But this team they have a lot of heart. They got a lot of heart. And they play defense first and foremost, which really, in the regular season, it matters. But in the postseason, you really got to be able to clamp down. These 130, 140 point games, you don't see that as much in the playoffs. Like, you really got to be able to get stops. And this team can get stops. So, again, if they can add just a little bit of extra three-point shooting, a little bit of extra pop, I think they could kind of end up like how the Pacers were last year, where, I mean, the Pistons are number one in the East, so it wouldn't be as much of a surprise. But a team that, like you said, is a team. They don't need the big threes with the multiple all-star guys and all this kind of stuff. I do think that they can work in the way that they are. I think that they just need to make a couple of moves. But I'd favor them to win the East currently. If Jason Tatum comes back, which, again, we have no idea what that looks like, I'd be a little bit worried about Boston. Otherwise, I think that this team probably is the best team in the East. In the Western Conference, I don't know. The Thunder they're interesting. They're a strange team, kind of. Probably the strangest, championship defending team I've seen. I just don't find them the most impressive when I watch them, but they also always get the job done. So I guess you can't knock them too much.
The Spurs, they beat them a couple times.
The Spurs are definitely someone to worry about, but also if they struggle to get the job done, like you said, a team that has very good defense might be able to stop them. Because you get into that 7-game series and the championship's on the line. It's all defense wins championships.
Yeah, I agree. If I'm picking a team out the West right now, I'm not going to lie. I like Denver. I love what Denver did in the offseason. I love some of the moves they made. And I think this is a team that has that secondary creation and maybe a team like the Pistons are missing. And at the same time, they play good defense, not great defense, but they're really hard to stop in a 7-game series as well. So, yeah, I love what the Pistons are doing. I just want to see them win a playoff series and go from there and really develop some momentum. Once they get over that hump of winning a playoff series, once Cade Cunningham gets that taste of like what it takes to get there, I believe in these guys. I really do. They're going to get it done at some point. Hopefully it's this year because as the Lions have shown, the championship window, you don't know how long that's going to stay open. I'm not saying the Lions championship window is closed, but you get that shot, even when it's unexpected, you got to take it. You got to take it.
100%.
Yeah, we even went to the playoff game, Pistons and Knicks.
Okay.
Yeah. It was exciting. Just the atmosphere was amazing. I love seeing the city get behind these guys. Again, they've been all in since day one. Cade Cunningham, when he threw the glasses on at the draft, like that was like peak Detroit moment right there. And for him to capitalize on those words, not run off and be like, I'm going to go to play in Miami or, go play in LA and be in Hollywood and all this kind of stuff. No, I'm going to take Detroit to where they need to get to. It's a lot of appreciation for the Pistons on my side. I'm die hard.
Yeah, I think he's definitely embraced the Detroit,
the mentality.
Yeah, the mentality that we have here. It's a blue collar, it's hard working, and that's what he's about. Even though when Dallas was playing the Detroit Lions, he was rooting for Dallas. I'll let that go, but he's definitely embraced what Detroit is, 100%.
Yeah, and you brought up not needing 3 superstars and all this stuff. Like this really reminds me of the 03, 04, 05 Pistons. The go to work Pistons. It's like we don't have any superstars on this team, even though there's argument that Cade is becoming a superstar at this point in time, and he probably is a superstar at this point in time. But it's not a team. It's a team. And that's generally when Detroit teams do really well is when it's a team. And that's usually when they win championships. I mean, you go back and you look at the Pistons championship, their last one, it was a team effort. It wasn't just one superstar on a team. And you even go back to the 84 Tigers, it was a team effort. It was, so there's, history of Detroit teams coming together as a team to win championships. And that's what I'm most excited about this year is because this is a team effort this year. Like it's just not one guy. I mean, they have depth on that bench. Like everybody's showing up, everybody's doing their job, and they're playing really well. So I have high hopes for the Pistons this year. And just like my kid called about 3 weeks ago when he was on the podcast, he said the Pistons were going to win it all this year.
Okay. I can dig that.
Yeah, I think to that point, the one thing that really stands out for me the most is when you talk about the team, Cade Cunningham obviously averages 26, 27 points per game, 9 assists, all the flashy numbers, all-star game starter. Watch him play on defense. He is one of the best defensive guards in the NBA. You watch the Lukas and all those guys that are super flashy, explosive. They don't give you anything on defense. Like, they're like, look, I'm giving you 30. You got to figure it out on the other end. Cade is like, nah, we're not. Everybody got to play defense. You're not hunting me. I'm not a mismatch on the defensive end. And I feel like the fact that he carries that he's a high-level defender, who else on the team has a reason to slack at this point? Because nobody else is better than you are. Yeah. So nobody else can slack if you're not slacking on the defensive end. He's a winner. He is a winner.
Oh, he's a winner. And you know what I love about him also is he's not selfish. No. Like I watched him in one of those games last week where, he had a wide open shot and instead of taking it, he passed it over to Robinson and let him hit the 3. Not a selfish player. So it's a team effort. And he is, he's playing along with that, and I love that in a player when they're not selfish. We bitch a lot about on this podcast about certain players like LeBron and stuff, where sometimes he comes across a little selfish and it's all worried about stats and, I'm the greatest player of all time. But when you get a player that is arguably your superstar on a team that is not selfish, I'm all about that 100%.
Well, he wants to win.
Yeah.
He wants to bring a championship to Trey. He wants to win one. That's what it comes down to.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh, and he's not a diva.
No,
Exactly.
not at all.
Exactly.
Another reason to love him.
None of that. He knows he can get 30 any night he wants to, but some nights that's just not what the Pistons need from him. It's not what they need every night.
No, 100%. Who they got coming up, Jason?
Well, here tonight they will be in Denver to play the Nuggets, who are tied with the San Antonio Spurs for the second place spot in the Western Conference right now, behind Oklahoma City. Thursday they will be in Phoenix to play the Suns. Friday they got the Golden State Warriors, and then Sunday they will be home against the Brooklyn Nets. So they got their work cut out for them this week.
Mm.
A lot of that being on the road, heading to the West Coast. We've said it before. The Western Conference has, for a long time, been known as the dominant conference in the NBA, but now the Eastern Conference is starting to finally. They're bridging the gap. It's not so much a Western Conference show anymore. You've got Detroit, you've got Boston, you've got Miami. You've got a few other teams here that are jockeying for position. But when you start on a road trip like this, this is the type of schedule that I look forward to. Are the Detroit Pistons for real? If they can, run out to the West and have a winning record out there, and then, before coming home, they're in a damn good spot in my view. Eric, what's your take?
Well, they beat the Lakers before. I think they can do it again. I'd say Golden State can never count out. I think they could. I think they can go 3-1. 3-1 coming up. They got to win tonight against Denver. Like Keith said, Denver's done a lot of good moves in the offseason and all that, so they're going to be a tough team. I think the two tough ones are going to be Denver and Golden State. If they can win those two, there's no reason they can't go 3-1.
I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
Like, and Denver worries me. Any of these West Coast matchups worry me, honestly, and that's kind of a test to see how the Pistons really are, is when they start going against some of these West Coast teams, of how good they actually are. And if they can pull out and go 3-1 this weekend, I think it's legit. We can start thinking championship vibes here.
Even if you go 2-2, it's 50%. Something at least. But 3-1 would definitely give us more help.
3-1 would establish them.
Yeah. Keith, what's your take on that?
Yeah, I'd love to see 3-1 from them. Considering Phoenix and Denver, I think, are missing key players. I think Jokic is still out for Denver. And Devin Booker also had a minor injury for Phoenix. So they played the Devin Booker the Suns just a couple of weeks ago at home. And very interesting game. And guys got to keep their composure playing against those kind of teams. But I could see a 3-1 finish this week. Chasing Steph Curry around worries me a little bit, but hopefully Asar Thompson is up for the challenge.
That's true.
Yeah, one of those games, though, because they have to bring so much defense to beat all three of those teams. So I'm intrigued to see how they handle these teams defensively as they attack very, very up-tempo, like teams that want to push the pace a little bit, which the Pistons don't mind. But I want to see how the defense comes out starting against Denver tonight.
100%. CB, what's your take on that?
Yeah, I'm definitely interested to see how we fare out against Golden State. Steph Curry, he may be 38 years old, but he's still the best shooter. Yeah, still the best shooter that I've ever seen living. 32, but I would like to see us get Golden State. I would like to see us win that one. I know, like you said, Denver may have some injuries, things of that nature. I would like to see us beat Denver and Golden State. If we drop the other two, is it the end of the world for me? No, but I would like them to definitely beat Golden State.
Okay. Well, hopefully this is one of those weeks where they go 4-0.
That would be phenomenal.
Shit, like they did.
Hey, I'm not complaining.
Yeah,
be phenomenal.
We'll have to see how it goes. But I got belief in this team. Like they're rolling pretty good. And Keith, you brought it up. That defense is legit. They play really good defense. The one thing I worry about, you said picking up that pace and that tempo. the Pistons have this issue sometimes when they try to pick up tempo with turnovers.
Yes.
They get a little sloppy. Like almost every game that I've watched this season, when they really try to pick up tempo, they end up turning over the ball a lot just on mistakes, and myself personally, I like when they slow the game down. If they can play the game at their level, slow the game down, and don't let the other team pick up tempo, they generally do a little bit better, and they don't suffer so many turnovers. But they have seemed to fix that problem over the last span of the last 20 games. It's gotten a lot better. The first 20 games of the season, it got a little sloppy when they tried to pick up pace, and they were getting a lot of turnovers, and there was a couple games that they could have probably won, some of those close calls. And I've said it a bunch of times on this podcast, even in their losses, they're all within, 3 to 5 points. Like they're not really out of these games, and it's just a few of those turnovers. If they didn't turn those over and just put easy points up there, their record would probably be even better than what it is right now. So they've gotten better at that, but picking up that tempo sometimes does worry me because I don't want to see them fall back into that pattern of the turnovers.
Yeah, I think it's definitely the mark of a young team where just kind of careless with the ball. I think a lot of guys still figuring out what they can do with the ball. Like Jalen Duren, love seeing him be super skilled, be able to bring the ball up the court. Like that's great that a center can do that. Sometimes though, I'm yelling at the screen like, JD, please pass the ball to somebody that's supposed to be handling it right now. But sometimes they're testing their limits a little bit. Ron Holland, I love the way Ron Holland plays, but he is ultra aggressive, and sometimes that does come with a turnover. Cade can be a little bit loose with his handle even sometimes. So yeah, definitely got to be careful with the turnovers, and forcing the turnovers against other teams is when they really play well. So finding a balance there can be a little bit tricky. In a half-court offense, they can be sometimes stagnant, but I think they'll be fine. Just got to be careful with the ball. Like you said, don't let the turnovers mount up, because that was an issue when they were struggling, like in the Monty Williams kind of era, was they would just turn the ball over. It seemed like every other possession. Like you can't win games like that.
No, you can't sustain that way. Like you have to control the ball. I mean, just control it, put 2 points up, control it, put 2 points up, play at your speed, set the tempo, like don't let teams get fast on you and try to match that. Sometimes just set the tempo. 2 points is better than no points when you're turning over the ball. So just set the tempo, play well. They've gotten better at it. Like I've said, like they're not turning it over as much as they were in the first half of we're only halfway through the season, but the first half of the first half, the first 20 games or so, they were turning it over a lot. They were still winning games, but they could have won by a lot more. And some of those games they lost because of turnovers. And I think they're fixing that. Like you said, it's a young team. They're still coming together, which is exciting because we're looking at the future of the next, 2, 3, 4 years being such a young team. How much better are we going to be going every year forward?
Yeah, definitely is very interesting. The ceiling is limitless with this team, considering pretty much all these guys we're talking about are 25 and younger. So the sky truly is the limit. But yeah, guys got to start to learn how to play within their roles, play within their capacities, things like that. But I'm excited. Like I'll be watching the Denver game tonight until I fall asleep or something. But yeah, it should be a good time.
That's my problem too, is staying up late for some of these games. Like
it starts at 10 o'clock.
Yeah, my ass can't stay up past 10 o'clock anymore. Like I'm too damn old. I got to work too damn early.
Yeah, the West Coast swings, even like when like a Michigan, for example, they go out and play like a USC or a Washington. I'm like, I'm tired.
Yeah.
Dude, I have that problem on Monday night football games now, or Sunday night football games. I can't stay up to the end of them anymore. I'm like, 10 o'clock, I'm out. Like, it's like, I got to go to bed. I'm too damn old.
There was someone saying they should move the Sunday night, Monday night games to 7. I'm like, it's perfect.
Yeah, that'd be a lot better.
Perfect.
Like, I'd be in bed, push it out. Even if it goes to 10:30, I can manage to stay up till 10:30. But you're talking 11 o'clock sometimes. Some of those games went to 11:30. It's like, I can't stay up this damn late. I got to be up at freaking 6 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Jason, he works all night long, so that's his out. He's up all night long. So.
I don't mind the West Coast swings. I'm a third shifter. You know what I mean? I'm not here for it. All right. Let's talk about this other basketball game real quick. Like, I guess one that's coming up here at the end of the week. I don't know if this graphic is going to pull up.
Probably none of them.
And
Probably none of them.
we are just out of graphics today. Usually we have really, I mean, you guys probably seen the show. We usually have really cool fucking graphics that Jason's put together. And nothing's working today, but it's all right because we're still
That
live.
damn weather.
All right, this Friday.
Apocalypse.
Yeah, shit. This Friday at 8 p.m., the Michigan Wolverines will be traveling to the Breslins Center in East Lansing for this big showdown with the Michigan State Spartans. As of right now, as we're doing this live, Michigan is number 3 in the nation. Michigan State is number 7 in the midst of a huge run here for the Spartans. I know on paper, especially on this show, evidently, Michigan is going into this thing as the heavy favorite here, but
I don't know about heavy favor. I don't know about heavy favor. There's a favor.
No, it's a heavy favor on my point.
It depends on who you talk to, because
Fair
when
enough.
you get Michigan and MSU and anything on both sides, the obnoxiousness goes to a whole different level. Okay, not as much as maybe with football, but especially this time of year where there's not a lot happening sports wise, like they flock to this shit. You know what I mean? And they get ruthless with it. And I don't know, maybe it's just because I'm a Spartan fan and like I get all of that every single year.
It wasn't me.
Are you fucking kidding me right now?
You're outnumbered here, bro. So just go on with your little shit that you're saying there. Run it.
Look, I was trying I was trying to be as impartial as possible. But now you got to pull the asshole card, and it's got to make me be a certain kind of way, Tim. And I didn't want to be that way today.
Oh man.
Let me
Wait
put it this
till
way,
next
Jason.
week when you were going to be on air wearing a goddamn Cowboys jersey because Michigan State won.
Let me put it this way.
What?
You can never count out Michigan State in basketball. Doesn't matter what they're ranked, not ranked. With this game, you can never count them out. That's why I'm nervous about it.
It's
And
it's one of those games.
Go ahead.
They're rivals. They're always going to be close. They prepare all year long for each other. It's a big game either way. It's always going to be close. It could go either way, but I still got my money on Michigan because I need to have my money on Michigan because I refuse to wear a Dallas Cowboys jersey on this podcast for 1 month.
That might happen. But I know Michigan State's going to be watching that film of that Wisconsin and Michigan game when Michigan lost. And it's going to be one hell of a game Friday.
Yeah. I was just going to say I'm intrigued. I'm very intrigued to see how it goes. I usually take a little bit of time to get into college basketball just because it starts when everything else is going. But now it's starting to pick up and be kind of like the primary focus. And I have noticed Michigan, even though they started the season about as dominant as you'll ever see a college basketball team be, they haven't looked as good the past few weeks now. So I know Yaxel, it looks like, was dealing with a bit of an injury. I think he's fine, I guess. I don't know if they should maybe rest him a little longer, but like you said, you can't count out Michigan State basketball. Like, these guys can be ranked wherever. It's always going to have them ready to go, especially at home.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Toss up for me.
Oh yeah. It's gonna be a dogfight. I can't wait.
Literally.
Well, in reality, Michigan plays they start in a minute in Nebraska, or Michigan plays Nebraska. Nebraska's undefeated. They're number 1 in the Big Ten right now, and that's going to be one hell of a game. Michigan's definitely got their work cut out for them this week, playing Nebraska and then going to Michigan State. So they definitely have a tough 2 games coming up, and if they can win tonight, I got a lot of confidence for Friday. But you can't count out Tom Izzo. Tom Izzo, these games are different, and he's going to have them ready.
I mean, he's had them on a 10-game win streak.
That's what I'm saying.
Checked.
Like they struggled in the beginning of the season, and then Tom Izzo does what he does. He turned them around, he coached them up, and now they're ranked number 7 in the nation, and they're one of the best teams out there.
But Jason, can you highlight Scott's last comment there, brother?
Let me look. No, I cannot.
Please. Is this a good time to point out that Rutgers is beating the Spartans right now?
Okay.
Come on,
That's
Scarlet
okay.
Knights.
Yeah, that's a good time to point that out, Scott. Thank you.
Hey, Rutgers is good. Rutgers is good in basketball. Unfortunately, they are a sleeper in basketball.
Come on, Jersey.
Yep, yeah, they're out that way.
No,
Yeah,
look,
all right.
this is going to be a close game, Jason. I mean, I'm slightly worried, and I might not be wearing a Dallas Cowboys jersey next week, but I will for 1 month straight wear a Dallas Cowboys jersey. But we have to time it out. Like, do I wear it during football season? Do I wait till football season picks back up?
No, you wear
and then wear the Dallas Cowboys jersey through like the first month of football season. Yeah, that's going to be up to you, really. But I have to like purchase a Dallas Cowboys jersey or get one from my brother-in-law. So it'll be
do that so you don't have to buy one. Do that.
Yeah,
so you
probably
don't have
not
to
the
buy one.
next week, but I mean, I will honor it if I lose. I will wear 1 month straight Dallas Cowboys jersey, but because I know you will honor your end of the bet.
Oh, I will.
And the maize and blue will run wild on you, brother.
Jason, all I'm saying is just wait for football season and pick a 5-week month there. So he's got to wear it for 5 weeks.
I don't really think it matters what time of the year he wears it. He's going to look like an asshole because it's a Dallas Cowboys jersey.
It's fair. It's fair.
That's a tough punishment. Not going to lie.
Yeah, especially for a Lions fan, like it hurts having to wear a Cowboys jersey. I can't even believe it. I mean, it's not as bad as what Jason has to go through if Michigan wins. So you guys will see the TikTok video. If Michigan wins, Jason will have a beautiful TikTok video that's getting posted.
That's fair.
Beautiful stretch. Let's switch over to the NHL real quick. By this goddamn graphics not going to pop up.
Going to get into one of those original 6 teams.
Well, careful.
You might as well not even try to bring up graphics at this point, Jason.
Don't even bother.
Well, I have to because I have to see it.
No, that's fair. Okay, fair enough.
All right. Last Wednesday, a 2-1 overtime win over the Toronto Maple Leafs, followed by 4-3 loss to the Minnesota Wild, and then the rebounding in a big way. Saturday, a 5-1 win over the Winnipeg Jets. Eric, God damn it, man. Aside from the Minnesota game, the Detroit Pistons have been on fire, brother.
Do you mean the Red Wings?
That's what I meant.
Yes. Okay. You threw me off. I'm like, I thought we were done with basketball, but they definitely have been. And before that loss to Minnesota, they were 5-1 in overtime wins this year. Mm-hmm. So they're 5-2 now. It seems like every game that goes overtime, they find a way to win it, and I'm not complaining at all. But at least when you go to overtime, you get a point. So I'm happy about that. So they're clicking on all cylinders, and I keep hearing rumors that Eisman's going to be very, he's going to be very hard at the trade deadline. He's going to get something going. So I'm hoping he gets someone, but I don't know. They're meshing very well. The lines, the coach has switched up the lines. They're playing well. Penalty kill's doing good. Their one goalie has, I think, won the last 10 or 12 games he started. And that goalie in Grand Rapids is doing phenomenal too. So they're already talking about bringing him up, and it's like that's not a bad idea. But
let me ask you this: with the role that the Red Wings have been on, where they have been at for the last several weeks, among the top in the NHL, do you feel like Yzerman is starting to feel a little bit of pressure, and that's why we're getting a lot of speculation now as to he's going to be making some sort of big move here, but before the deadline?
Well, you need to. You need to do you need to do something because we're missing a little bit of pieces. You don't need to get a great player. You just need to get someone that's going to mesh well with what you got going on. And you got to, or maybe bring someone up because the Grand Rapids Griffins are, I think they're 25-3. They went on a 3-game losing streak, and then they bounced back and started winning again. If you got to bring someone up or if you got to make a trade, you got to do what you got to do to get us over that hump. Because last year, this time we were sitting pretty, in the playoff spot, up in the East and all that. And then come around March, we fell down. You got to keep that momentum going, and you got to stay away from injuries and what they are doing. And they're playing very well. So, great game against the Maple Leafs, original 6 battle. That's tough right there because those teams always play each other tough. Then you got Minnesota great team over there, but then we come back and stomp the Jets, and the Jets have been on a run too, kind of.
Because aren't we second?
The Red Wings are currently in second place, tied, points wise with the Carolina Hurricanes behind the Tampa Bay Lightning. But I mean, 2 weeks ago, the Red Wings were sitting on top. I mean, that's how close this shit is right now.
They've been bouncing back and forth since the beginning of the season. There was 1 week they were the 10th in the East, and then they jumped back up to first.
Right. It's crazy how that works, but they have remained consistent, and that's what we've said on here. As long as they remain, because you're not going to win them all. It's impossible. No. If you're thinking like that, stop. It's not reasonable. They're not going to win them all. But like Eric, you have said, as long as they go into every week at worst at a 500 record, even Steven or what have you, they're going to be okay. But when they start going on significant dips and slides, this is where it gets nervous, and this is right around the time that this shit does start to happen. As we start coming, the January is almost over. We're looking at February now. Before you know it, we're talking playoffs. And man, do not let your foot up off the gas right now.
No, you're talking about playoff hockey in Detroit. That's a whole different monster, and that's what our fans have been waiting for the last 7-8 years.
Right.
Well, since what? I think 2016 is the last time we made it, so 10 years. We've been waiting a decade to get back to that. We haven't had a game at LCA, a playoff game there yet. We need that. We need to bring that back. We need to get that. We're called Hockey Town for a reason. And the way they're playing, they need to keep it up. DeBrinket's playing good. Larkin's playing good. Kane's playing good. Cole's playing good. Everyone's playing great. They need to keep it up, and they need to, like I said, don't add a star. Just add someone that can mesh well with this team and bring more points. And even if, like I said, if we go 500, even if you make it overtime, you still get a point. You're still adding to that total no matter what.
We need another goalie. I'll say that.
We already talked about it.
Okay.
The goalie,
I came to the conversation late. I apologize, everybody.
The goalie in Grand Rapids has been playing great. Our one that I think has won the last 12 starts he's played.
Yeah, no, he's good. It's the other guy who's like 1-5 over the last 6.
And he's not doing great. And so it's like you might have to, do a swapperoo, send him down, bring the other one up that's playing great.
Try it out. It's early enough in the season. Right now is the time to do it. Try it out.
Exactly.
Get it done now.
Or make a trade, but Eisman's they say he's going to be aggressive at the trade deadline, so I'm waiting to see it.
We'll have to wait and see because he didn't do shit last year.
Exactly. He doesn't like to
He
trade.
sat on his hands like Brad Holmes.
Well, there's that one player. Yeah. There's that one player. There's that one player that said he wanted to come to Detroit, and Eisman didn't try for him.
Yeah, that's the first time that somebody lit something of a spark under his ass because he
wanted to come. He wanted to come to Detroit. Like literally, he said that. And it's like, come on, man.
Yeah.
People that want to come here, you can't let go away because they want to be here. What are you exactly, Keith? How are you guys big hockey fans? Follow the Red Wings quite a bit?
I can't say that I've been as tapped into the Red Wings as I should be. I used to be a lot more into them. Planning to get back into it, though, and definitely have seen that they are playing very well, which is good to see. I know that they had a stretch last year where they were hoping to make the playoffs and kind of just missed it at the last second. But, the energy that they bring to the city, like you said, it's Hockey Town. When they're good, it just feels different. Whether you like hockey or you don't like hockey, it just feels different. In the city when they're good. And it's so important for them to be good because they really are foundational franchise if we're being real in the city. So we need them to be good and for them to finally have like the fruits of their labor kind of paying off. I know it's been a while where it felt like they were rebuilding, kind of bouncing back, and then finally now looking like one of the best teams in the conference. It's good to see. It's good to see. And I will be tapping back in shortly.
Okay. CB, what's your take on that?
So I usually catch the highlights after some of the games. I usually catch the highlights of the Red Wings do want to start watching more of the games. I know I'm always focused on Detroit Lions and doing research and things of that nature. But yeah, I definitely want to see the Red Wings make the playoffs. Aren't we 53-30, something like that? Second in second place.
32.
32. Okay, 53 and 32. Yeah. So, and I know last year around this time, I remember we were looking pretty good, and then we had the losing streak. We didn't end up making it, but yeah, I definitely hope that the Red Wings, and I do want to go to a Red Wings game. I've never been to a Red Wings game.
Oh, they're a lot of fun.
Phenomenal. I was at the Joe the last year there at the Joe.
That was the last time I went to. That was the last year.
Dude, you could just
one of the last games.
You could feel the history, and it was a different feeling once you walked in that building.
Yeah,
it is nuts. And then I have been to LCA for a hockey game, and they're both nuts. It's both a great place to go.
I haven't been to LCA for a Pistons or a hockey game. Like I've been there for an Elton John concert, but I haven't been there for a sports thing yet. Don't give me shit. I took Amy, Jason. It's Amy's favorite artist ever, and I bought her tickets for her birthday I think it was her birthday one year. And I took her to see Elton John on the Yellow Brick Road tour, and she fucking loved it, and I was a superhero forever. Like, and to be honest with you, Elton John was freaking amazing live. Absolutely amazing.
Was.
One of the best concerts I've ever been to, so don't knock it. Like, he's an icon.
I wasn't going to knock it. I wasn't going to say shit until I heard Eric go, okay. That's what broke me. You know what I mean? I'm like, okay. Well,
don't knock it. And speaking of Detroit, I'll be down that way here in a few weeks because for my birthday this year, Amy got me tickets to go see The Machine. Okay. I get to go see Bert Kreischer on the 28th.
That will be good.
On the 28th. So I'm going to be down at the Fox Theater on the 28th to see Bert Kreischer. That's like my first actual legitimate comedy show I'm going to. And I'm pretty excited about it.
That's going to be a good comedy show to go to. He's pretty funny.
Yeah, we're going to be spending the weekend down there. I think we're spending the night at Greektown. Just going to Uber over to the Fox Theater. Like,
that's not a bad
I'm going to gamble away my house that night. Like, it's going to be a good time. Okay. Yes. And I love Greektown. Like, that's probably my favorite casino to go to because all the restaurants around there are amazing. Like, you don't have to go far. You just literally walk out of the casino, walk across the street, and you're in good restaurants. Like, that part of town is freaking awesome.
Never been.
Like, best city in the world.
Yeah, like Detroit is so much fun to hang out down there now. Like, I love going down there. Like, it's so much to do, so much to see. Like, it's just a fun time.
But CB, there's nothing wrong with doing a lot of research about the Lions and paying attention to them. I love that.
Can I?
Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to ask really quickly for my Wings guys. I watched the Pistons on League Pass here in Jersey. What's the best way to catch the Red Wings?
I think it's called FanDuel, isn't it?
Probably
it's so
FanDuel,
hard.
if I had to guess, yeah.
I think it's literally just FanDuel.
Oh.
Yeah.
This has been a huge issue.
Always.
We have broke this down a couple of times here on the show. Just what a bunch of bullshit all these local market TV deals are. Last week we talked about the Tigers here because they're going to be included in MLB's new broadcasting umbrella because they're getting away from FanDuel. FanDuel has fucked everything up. If I can be honest with you, the corporate side of this whole thing has ruined. The viewing experience or the capability of seeing our local teams here. So the Red Wings are included in this. And so I think I've seen one Red Wings game, and that's because it was on ESPN. And I happen to have that app because that's how I get to watch the WWE, the premium live events like Royal Rumble and WrestleMania. Otherwise, I wouldn't have access to watch the Red Wings unless I'm at a bar or some shit like that.
Yeah, I've had to go to so many streaming apps to be able to watch the local sport. The Tigers in particular were very difficult for me to be able to watch. I mean, I was on some sites where I'm like, please let me not get a virus on my computer to be able to watch them. And I want to watch the Wings too, but I'm like, where do I even catch them? With the Pistons, I was like, let me just buy a League Pass. Like, it's worth it for me because I watch them every night. But for the Wings, I got to find a way.
If I had to say probably YouTube TV, probably wouldn't be bad. That probably wouldn't be bad.
But the highlights on YouTube.
Yep. But I know YouTube TV is not the cheapest streaming platform ever, but you do get a lot. So you'd probably get maybe the Tigers and the Pistons and on there too.
See,
I'm not sure.
I got Fubo right now, but I'm about to drop them because I keep them for the NFL season because we don't have cable anymore, so everything is all streaming. So like I have to find something to be able to catch as many football games as I can, which Fubo actually pissed me off this year because they dropped NBC, which luckily I have Peacock, so I was able to pick up any like Monday night games or Sunday night games on NBC. And they're not even gonna have the Super Bowl this year because I believe it's on NBC. But luckily it's gonna be on Peacock and Tubi, so everybody able to catch Super Bowl free on Tubi. But yeah, like this whole thing I'm getting so sick of all these TV deals, or the streaming deals. Like you have to have so many damn streaming services to be able to watch everything you want to be able to watch, and it's getting ridiculous. And when it comes to sports, if you want to catch a local team, it's hard to even catch if you don't have FanDuel. I mean, up until this year when MLB's taking over the broadcast, but these last few years, if you didn't have FanDuel, you weren't catching the Wings or the Tigers. Like you can't watch them at all, and it's ridiculous because they want $20 a month. Their streaming service sucks. Like it just nothing but cuts out all the time and everything else. So you have to go to a secondary to get on their cable channel. So unless you have YouTube TV or FanDuel, you're not going to catch them at all. And it's just getting ridiculous. I'm sick of spending as much money as I am. I know, Jason, you said you have ESPN. I get it free right now because I have Fubo, but I'm about to cancel it. But I refuse to pay for it to watch any of the WWE PLEs. Like, I'm not doing it. Like, I'm boycotting all the PLEs. Like, I'm done with WWE until they get their shit straightened out. Like, because when it was on Peacock, it was amazing. $8.99 a month. How can you fucking beat that? It's $8.99 a month. And right now, like, and we'll talk about this in a minute because I want to bring that up before we get into football. But UFC on Paramount, fucking fantastic. I loved it. I watched UFC 324 the other night for the first time. Like, I haven't been able to watch UFC in a while because it was so damn expensive. But now they're raising my price to $13.99 a month, but I'll continue paying it because I get UFC all the time now. And let me tell you, 324 was an amazing fucking card. Like, it was amazing.
It's all a money grab.
Yeah.
That's what it is. 100%. 100%.
You can't win. You can't win. And being out here in Jersey, seeing like the Yankees and the Mets have like their own networks here.
Yeah.
Like when are one of the Detroit people going to just go all in on that? Like, just create a network that everybody can watch, because FanDuel it sucks. And I heard their app is trash. Like, I want to be able to watch the teams out of market, but how?
Right. Shouldn't be this difficult, especially in this day and age when there's so many technological advances. I mean, back in the 90s, unless you lived in that market or that cable outlet was a superstation, I'm a Colorado Rockies fan, but I can't watch the Colorado Rockies unless they're on a national broadcast or they come here to Detroit. You know what I mean? Be that difficult, and you shouldn't have to. I don't know. It's the business that bleeds into the actual sport, and it winds up ruining the entire experience. And it's all corporate greed, man. And I fucking hate it. It's
all about that green stuff, all about that money.
Yeah, it's getting worse with streaming now. Absolutely 100% worse. And unfortunately, like, you're talking about the Yankees and the Mets having their own network. Like, you're going to start seeing that. But what does that do for the fan that wants to watch multiple teams throughout the entire, MLB? It's like, do you have to subscribe to every streaming service for all the teams that you follow? Probably. It's hard for it makes it hard for people like us because we mostly talk about Detroit sports. Like that's our main thing. Like, we mostly cover Detroit sports, but we also like to cover multiple teams throughout the things. Obviously, I'm a Chiefs fan also.
Horrible.
I know everybody hates me for it. That's my secondary team. That's my AFC team. My number one team is the Lions. I do have to say that. Like, I am a Lions fan, diehard, but My AFC team is the Chiefs. Everybody hates it. I don't care. I'm waiting for Scott to say something stupid. Go ahead, Scott. Say it in the comments. I'm just waiting for it.
Smart things about the Chiefs.
But like it starts to make it hard to be able to follow all the teams. Like we're expected to, like, we want to be able to cover all sports, but we can't watch all sports because it would cost too damn much money, and we just don't have that type of money to dump into it to be able to watch all these sports. So we're just, I guess, looking at stats and covering it on that because we can't watch all these damn games anymore because everybody wants to have different localities, you know, that you have to subscribe to, whether it's, you know, the Tigers when they were on FanDuel, now they're going to be on MLB. We'll wait to see how that looks, but obviously you're talking about the Mets and the Yankees having their own networks. You know, what if I want to follow the Royals? You know, like, do I have to subscribe to their network to be able to follow their games? It's going to get ridiculous but it's a money game. That's all it is.
They just need to make something like a Sunday NFL ticket or Sunday ticket.
Scott just asked me to burn the Mahomes jersey. Scott, I'm not burning the Mahomes jersey.
We'll burn it. Their dynasty's over. We'll burn it.
Their dynasty is not over. They're going to be back next year.
No, they won't. But
hey, real quick, let's look at the next week's Red Wings schedule. Here tonight, they are at home to play the Kings. Thursday, they will be playing the Washington Capitals here at home. The Colorado Avalanche are here on Saturday, and then they go out to Denver on Monday to play the Avalanche again. Back-to-back games with the Avalanche, Eric. That is not ideal.
That is not, because the Avalanche have the most wins in the NHL right now. They are the number one winning team in the NHL right now, so they're playing good. So, and if you know the Red Wings at all, you already know that rival. And playing 2 nights in a row, it's going to get chippy. It's going to get chippy. It's going to be there. So they can win. They can beat the Kings tonight. And then you said they had who? The next
the Capitals, and then the back-to-back with Colorado.
You need to at least split this 50-50 because Capitals are tough. The Kings are not that great this year, so I think you get that. And then you need to at least split against the Avalanche. If you can somehow beat them twice, that'd be great. But at least you need to go 2-2, ideal 3-1.
100%. And you're right. It's going to be the tension's going to be a little bit higher at the end of this run here with the Avalanche, but it's nowhere near what it used to be.
No.
But you know damn well it would take something pretty minor to reignite that spark, that rivalry between, because at the end of the day, there's a lot of long-term hatred between the Red Wings and the Avalanche. So I think it's cool the way they did this year with back-to-back games like that in alternate cities. So
the crazy part is there could be an Avalanche Red Wings Stanley Cup at one point. And you're going to tell me that ain't going to get chippy? That would be one of the most chippiest Stanley Cups we've ever seen. That would be something else.
I'm writing that down, Eric. That's going to be a new T-shirt over at PFC.
That could be something else.
What's the T-shirt going to be?
No.
Chippy.
Okay.
It's going to get a little chippy, Tim.
I'm just saying, if there's an Avalanche and Red Wings Stanley Cup, that's going to be something different.
I need a T-shirt that just has a picture of Eric's face that says Eric sucks.
Okay, well.
That'll be up tomorrow.
Appreciate it. Okay, fuck you.
Before we get into the National Football League, you want to make mention of the UFC, you said.
Yes, I do, because I want to bring up. Did you watch UFC the other night?
I've seen the highlights. I did not watch it. If I would have seen the card, I would have came over and watched it with you.
Oh, dude,
I did not see the card, and I really wish I could have seen Patty the Batty fight.
Okay, so that fight right there, Gaethje versus Patty.
Dude,
my God.
Patty let everyone know why he is the way he is. Yeah, he lost the fight by decision, but he stood it. I watched the highlights. He got his ass beat.
He got his ass beat, but he stood up there and he took it.
He didn't get knocked out.
And he gave it back. Like, let me tell you, this deal with Paramount with the UFC is the most exciting thing that I've been like looking forward to for a while because
the Dana White did that right.
Yeah,
100%.
like UFC is so exciting, and I haven't been able to watch it for so long because it's 50 to 60, 70, 80 depending on the card.
Yeah.
To be able to order the pay-per-view and to be able to catch it now on Paramount, like to be able to watch all these. And there's another one coming up this weekend that I'm excited about. And this past week, Gaethje versus Patty, dude, that they went to war.
Oh,
they went to
100%.
war. Did you guys catch this UFC card the other night?
I know.
I did not. I have been wanting to get more into UFC because all my frat brothers are into it, but I'm behind. I am very behind.
Well, they're on Paramount Plus
Yeah.
now, so that's definitely an easy way to catch up on UFC.
Yeah, especially because I think you can join for like $8.99 a month.
Yeah,
and
it's
it goes up to
only
like
$8.99
$13.99 a month. But let me tell you, this fight from the other night, Gaethje versus Patty. Oh my
The
god!
highlights I seen, dude. Patty's faces was messed up,
dude,
but he gave it back though.
It looked like he got hit by a bus by the end of that fight, and I don't even know how he kept standing up in that fight, but he kept battling. This is amazing, especially for any fight fans. I talk about it. We bring it up all the time about boxing because you know how Netflix has the whole thing with MVP promotions now. And, we get to watch a lot of boxing on Netflix, especially a lot of the Jake Paul fights and stuff, which are exciting and fun. But UFC, different level. Like, I am so excited about the UFC and what they bring.
It's mixed martial arts, yeah.
Like, and for us to be able to watch this for such a cheap price, like, because almost everybody I know has Paramount at this point because it's one of the cheaper options.
Yeah.
And a lot of people watch, whether it's Yellowstone or, any of that
Landman,
Landman, which Landman, you got to come over and watch the rest of that season.
I got to catch up.
The season ended. It was amazing.
I heard it from Nick. I know. It's pretty
just
amazing.
Absolutely amazing season. You guys watch any of the Landman or anything like that?
No, not familiar with Landman. I do have Paramount though to be able to catch some of the CBS football games, so I might have to
get into it. Get it. I binge watched the first season in like 2 days. Get into it.
Landman's a wild show. Great show.
Landman. Let me put that on my list.
Let me write that down.
Yeah, no, I binge watched it in 2 days. I was like, yep, that's not a good thing.
Did you guys ever catch any of the Yellowstone or anything?
I heard that was great too. I need to get into that.
No, like Yellowstone was really good. It threw me off. Did you guys ever watch Sons of Anarchy back in the day?
No, I feel like I missed out on a lot of those good shows.
Oh, you guys got to go back. You got to catch Sons of Anarchy, and then you got to catch like Yellowstone, all the spinoffs, Landman.
A lot of good shows to watch.
Like Taylor Sheridan is putting out all these shows, whether it's Yellowstone, Landman, Tulsa King. There's so many of them on there that are so good. Like all of them are just binge worthy. So good.
Yeah,
but like Paramount, so now you can catch, if you got Paramount, Keith, UFC all day long. Like
I got it pulled up now.
Yeah. There's another event this weekend. I think UFC 325 is this weekend coming up. So it's going to be another good one. And this one is the one that people were looking forward to more, I guess. Like I've been out of the UFC game for so long, but I'm about to get right back into it now that I can watch all of them.
Well, the White House one's coming up next year or this year.
Yeah, I'm waiting to see who they have on that card because
that's going to be a crazy
they're
card.
building that up to be a huge card because I think that's when Connor's supposed to be.
Well, they're
he
talking
wants to
about
fight
Connor.
on that card.
They've talked about John Jones. So if you don't know, the White House is doing a UFC event on the 4th of July. They're going to fight on the lawn of the White House,
which is crazy.
Yeah. But on a side note, just a real update: Nebraska's up 36-27 to Michigan right now with 7 minutes left in the first.
So, that's still a close game.
It's a close game, but Michigan's behind a little bit. But it's a close game. But yeah.
All right, Jason. I think we can move into the NFL.
All right.
So I'm done talking about the UFC.
Well, before we jump into it, can we? I want to ask their opinions on the Lions' season and what they've done so far in the offseason, honestly.
Well, I was going to get into that too because we've made some hires over the last week or so.
Okay, we can talk about the Super Bowl coming up. We can talk about these 2 games.
I want to get into the Lions first.
Okay, let's get in the Lions first. How do you guys feel how the Lions season went and what they've done so far in the offseason about who they've hired and what they've done so far? Keith, you can start us off.
Season-wise, obviously disappointing. I mean, going 9-8, technically a winning record, and in some years that will get you in the playoffs, but they just didn't play good enough. And there are a million different reasons for why that was. I think the offensive line and a lot of their struggles were paramount for sure for the team to be able to succeed. The inconsistencies in the run game really just were unacceptable at certain points. The defense just being stubborn with the defense that they play, not adjusting to the personnel, not adjusting to the team that you're playing, whatever game plan they come out in, has been frustrating for the past couple of years now, if we're being honest. Yes, it's a very strong belief in your guys when it comes to playing man coverage and rushing the passer and all these things. You believe your guys can win those one-on-one matchups, and too often they just lost them. And that cost them a lot on the defensive side of the ball. On the offensive side of the ball, I have a lot of faith that they can figure it out because really the offensive line is the only thing that needs to be cleaned up. And you do have a lot of pillars on the offensive line. Obviously, the right side is really strong, still really young. If you can pick up a couple pieces here as a swing tackle, a developmental tackle, maybe some guys on the interior, really just some pieces here or there that can kind of get you back to where you need to be at. I'm excited for them on the offensive side of the ball. On the defense side of the ball, I think they need to make a lot more adjustments. The hires were interesting for sure. Definitely didn't have Drew Petzing on my radar.
No, I don't think any of us did. No, none of us.
Yeah, it wasn't the most inspiring hire. At the same time, when you look at the Mike McDaniels and the guys like that I think everybody was interested in, which I think he would have done a great job, especially with these pieces on the offense.
That's who I wanted.
Phenomenal.
Yeah, and I don't know if maybe they weren't vibing with what they felt like he was bringing. Maybe he wanted a different opportunity. Maybe he was still in the market, which is a little bit weird that he accepted the offensive coordinator job or was interviewing for head coaching jobs. I don't know what was going on there or why they wouldn't have prioritized somebody like that. But Petzing is interesting. I want to see him be given a chance. Again, not necessarily the most inspiring, but he also was not working with nearly this much talent in Arizona. And he does seem to have a penchant for coming up with creative concepts in a run game, which would be really nice for the Lions. I was excited for them picking up Mike Kafka earlier today. I thought that was a really good addition to the coaching staff as a senior advisor. And I would love to see him maybe have more input when it comes to the passing concepts. Because the fact that, and CB and I talk about it all the time, we had some videos that got some traction talking about the wide receiver duos. The Lions have an insanely talented wide receiver duo. And the fact that it sometimes takes them so long to get Jamison Williams going is really, really frustrating. And so I'm hoping that with some fresh mind, some fresh thought, that they can figure that out a little bit earlier. And hopefully Petzing can focus more on the run game. And eventually somebody can be trusted to call the plays so Dan Campbell can focus more on in-game management. So I think this team could literally flip it back around next season and be on top of the division. But they got to make some moves on the offensive line. They got to make some moves on the defensive line. And they got to find a way to run a more cohesive scheme when it comes to stopping the pass.
Okay. I like that input, and I like what you're saying, all that. And definitely offensive line, there's definitely talks about maybe cutting Taylor Decker and saving $18 million in cap space and all that, because he is an older tackle, and talking about going after one of the younger ones in the draft. I do like that. But CB, you said you do a lot of research, so I'm really looking forward to what you got to say on this.
Yeah, speaking about cutting offensive line, I know it was some talks about Graham Glasgow, the center, also maybe being cut. I definitely feel that the Lions need to swing big, and I'm glad with the Mike Kafka hire. Now, the offensive coordinator, I guess it's kind of, we got to wait and see. Got to try to give him a chance, just like Morton. We didn't really know if he'll be good, he'll be bad. Obviously, he didn't really work out with the Lions, but I definitely feel that it is still early. We still got free agency. We still got the draft. So we definitely need to obviously fix that offensive line. I think we need another pass rusher. I think the Lions are going to draft another pass rusher. I know the guy from Miami. They were kind of throwing out his name at number 17, so we'll see. But he did have 2 sacks the national title game, so that's kind of exciting. I think we need another pass rusher. Obviously, the offensive line, I know they'll probably try to restructure Jared Goff and St. Brown's contract just to get more cap space. But I definitely feel with the talent, like our wide receiver duo, our offense. I mean, our offense finished still 5th out of the whole league, out of 32 teams. So with our offense and the talent that we have, I think we are too talented not to be in the playoffs, not to make the playoffs, which is
Mhm.
crazy to me. I had us winning the division, but obviously we see how that turned out. But I definitely feel that offensive line needs to be fixed so we can open up that run game. I definitely feel with some fresh minds like Mike Kafka, the OC, and Dan Campbell, more so not calling plays and more so game management, things of that nature.
Mhm.
Him stepping back from that is a good thing. Now, defensively, I still think we need a pass rusher. We still need a pass rusher. Now, are we going to draft one or are we going to sign one in free agency? Um,
Mm.
you never know. But I think pass rusher and offensive line, yeah, we definitely need to get it right. And we need to keep David Montgomery. I know there's rumors floating around. He hasn't
I
really
hope.
said anything. I know he posted some cryptic messages, whatever the case may be, but definitely keep our run game together.
Okay, I agree with that. Keeping Montgomery and all that, but I've also heard that the Ravens center, very good center,
Yes.
either going to franchise tag him this year or he's going to be a free agent. That'd be a very good pickup because then Glasgow can fight for one of those guard spots.
Which goes back to his natural position.
Yep, and
anyways.
then you drop Decker unless he wants to stay. Consider that, but if you drop Decker, pick up. I've heard a lot of good things about the left tackle at Miami. Heard a lot of good things about the left tackle in Utah. You pick him up. You got to move Penei Sewell over to left tackle. Penei Sewell's going to do good wherever you put him. But then you pick that up, and then you got 3 players battling out for those guard spots because you already got your center. If you pick up that one from Baltimore, then you have 3 players trying to battle for guards. Glasgow. I can't think of the other names. The one we drafted.
Mahogany.
Mahogany.
Yeah,
Yep.
Mahogany. I like Mahogany. I think
Mahogany.
he did well. He played injured, then he came back, and he didn't do as well, but he started coming
But
back
then that
around
rookie,
again.
That rookie too.
Ratledge did awesome.
So you'd have those.
I don't want to move him.
So you'd have those 3 battling for guard spots. You'd have both your tackles set, and your center right there. You already got them. Like that's what would fix your offensive line. But also, does Ragnow still want to come back? He tried coming back this season. You got to talk to him if he gets a full season off. Is he going to be ready?
I think
that's done.
Yeah, I think it's done. I think he wanted to come back to help out last year, and it just didn't work out.
And I get that, but he might still have that itch. And if he talks to the front office,
if he does, he's still young enough.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
He's
If
still
he
in his
gets
late
that
20s.
surgery and fixes it and comes back, and it's like you had a whole season off to rest. That might not be a bad play either.
But at the same time, you got to start looking at the future because
100%. Well, that's why he's still.
Yeah, you gotta draft for the future. If we draft a right tackle, because I know there's quite a few good right tackles coming up that we could probably grab at the 17th spot or move up and get an even better one. We move Penei to the left tackle. I think Penei is going to do great anywhere he goes on the field. Like Penei is just an athlete.
He's a monster.
Yeah, he's a monster. He'll do good in a position. Arguably, he'd probably do better at left tackle than Decker did for us last year.
Oh yeah.
Especially if we let Decker go. And do I want to see Decker go? No. Like he's a part of this team. We love Taylor Decker. It was sad to see Skip retire.
Even though he's a Buckeye. Even though he's a Buckeye.
Yeah. But they were talking for the longest time of moving Ratledge to center. I don't want to move Ratledge. Ratledge actually had really good PFF grades at that right guard last year. Let's leave him right there. Pick up a center in free agency. I don't think there's any good options at center that we're going to get at our point in the draft, especially when we need to start worried about tackles. Like we need a tackle more than we need a center at this point. Like we could probably get one in free agency. And speaking of, you're talking about edge rusher. I really liked Muhammad last year.
I wanted to bring that up to you. I was going to bring that up
Muhammad, 11 and a half sacks last season. He did really good when they played him. I don't think they utilized him enough. I think we bring him back and really open it up to see what he can do. And the reason he did so good is because Hutch was grabbing a lot of those double teams.
Yeah, and Hutch will all day long.
But when you can get a guy who is out there grabbing 11 half sacks that's not getting as many snaps as what he should be, I don't think they utilized him enough. In fact, like they only put him out there probably 50% of the time, if that. You know what I mean? It might have only been 40% of the time. So I would like them to maybe re-sign him, see where it goes. I would like to see them sign an edge rusher for future purposes. If they can grab somebody, but first round, I think needs to be delegated straight towards offensive line and maybe even second round. First, second round, we don't have a third round pick, and I also think linebacker position, Alex Anzalone. I don't know if we're going to re-sign him, and I like Anzalone. I do, but he's getting a little bit older. He's getting a little bit slower. I would like to see them draft somebody a little bit more speedy.
Okay.
Kind of try to mimic what Green Bay has done with their linebacker crew. Those linebackers are so fast on that team. They get to the ball like that. We don't have that speed at linebacker. And I would like to see it. We got some big bodies there.
So didn't Jack Campbell win linebacker of the year?
He did, but he's a big body. He's not that speedy guy that I'm looking for. I'm looking for a guy that's 6 foot, 185, 195 pounds.
Okay, so
Jack Campbell's built like a damn tight end.
No,
he's a
wrong.
big guy. He's a run stopper. He can't drop into coverage. Anzalone was the guy that they tried to drop into coverage. He just wasn't fast enough to keep up with a lot of these slot receivers.
So what do you drop Anzalone and keep Rodriguez?
Rodriguez, I love Rodriguez. I think
he's a
he did
six-round
great.
pick, and he
did good.
He battled injuries this year, but he was always phenomenal, and he can play sideline.
He can, and that's what I want to be able to say. What do you guys think about the linebackers? Do you think we need somebody a little bit more speedy? Is it time to let Anzalone kind of go off and do his own thing?
I feel very particular about the linebackers. The Lions played base coverage more than any other team in the league last year.
Mm-hmm.
They put 3 linebackers on the field a lot. And I think that that's good for being able to stop the run, but there were a lot of instances we saw last year, the Rams game in particular, against the Steelers as well, where we weren't stopping the run anyway for whatever reason. So I think the Lions need to get speedier at that position. In particular, I don't think that they need to be running 3 linebackers out on the field necessarily 50, 60% of the snaps. I look at a team like Seattle, who drafted, and I know that these guys are not necessarily a dime a dozen, but Nick Emenwari, Mike McDonald, obviously we know from University of Michigan, excellent defensive mind. He drafted Nick Emenwari and has used him everywhere on the field. I think of a Nick Emenwari, I think of a Kyle Hamilton, a Brian Branch, a person that you can play kind of at nickel, you can play him at safety, you can play him at linebacker, you can bring them up in the box. They have the speed to defend in a lot of different ways. I think the Lions need more versatile guys at that third linebacker position instead of the big barreling kind of, like y'all said, the guys that are a little bit slower of foot. Very talented guys, but I think they need more speed at that linebacker position. I think they need to be more prepared to run nickel coverage. And if that means drafting another safety and moving Branch down to play linebacker more often, whatever it may be. But that's where you start to see these teams having success, is having these Nick Emenwari, Kyle Hamilton type guys who can literally do everything, including play linebacker. I would love to see them find one of these guys, because Emenwari was drafted in the second round. You can find these kind of freak of nature, tweener kind of guys who never succeeded at one position in college that can play these different levels in the NFL. So that's what I'm thinking. I think Brian Branch is actually the perfect player to do that, but then you need another safety.
Yeah.
So,
Really, what you're saying, Brian Branch would be the perfect for that.
That's as long as Kirby's healthy and can come back and play.
He can play nickel. He can play safety. He can come up and play that linebacker. He'd be that rover you need on that field. So, you're kind of spot on with that, with Brian Branch being there.
Yeah, I'd love to see him be in coverage more than Alex Anzalone. And then you can run with Jack Campbell. You can have Derek Barnes on early downs. You can have Malcolm Rodriguez maybe on the third downs as your second linebacker. And then Branch can play that de facto kind of spot. And then, like you mentioned, finding another safety to play next to Kirby Joseph, which safety is not a position that's necessarily drafted very high. You can get a little bit of value in the third round, like a Kirby Joseph who was picked in the third round. Not saying they're going to hit on the Kirby Joseph necessarily, but I would prefer them pick up another safety and start playing Branch a little bit more down in the box.
But we don't know what Kirby's going to be with his unknown kind of knee injury.
Yeah, you might need more than one safety. You might need to bring Avonte Maddox back. He played really well in limited snaps last year. So I think that they just need to be a little bit more versatile with the coverages that they're playing, because this whole big barreling, strong front seven that you're looking to do, when teams hit you with the play action and you got to be able to cover across the field, there's just gaps everywhere. Like, Alex Anzalone can't chase around Kenneth Gainwell all game. Like, it's not going to work.
No,
So,
and they're saying Branch ain't going to come back until like middle of the season next year too. So you got to find that
Right.
who's going to replace him for the first half of the season, almost probably. Hopefully not too long, but yeah, what's Kirby going to be when he comes back too? So you got a lot of what ifs on the defense, and honestly, with DJ Reader's performance this year, didn't really impress me too much either. He let a lot of challenge balls go, and he broke a lot of coverage where he got beat. So secondary is definitely a big if for me too. It definitely didn't help that Terrion Arnold definitely went out with I think it was a shoulder injury or a back injury.
Shoulder.
Shoulder.
Yep. So that didn't help either.
Justin just brought that up and asked if we consider Terrion Arnold a bust.
No.
And I don't think yet. I think he did better this past year than he did the year before when it came to the pass interference calls and stuff like that. He was getting a little bit better. I think give him another year, see what he turns into. Like, he was a lot better last year. He got sidelined a little early with injury. And he was banged up throughout most of that year, so he's kind of off and on.
You also got to think though, he's getting a lot of it's one-on-one for him.
Yeah, like he's playing a lot of one-on-one.
He's either going to win it or he's going to lose it.
Well,
so
and on top of that, without Kirby on the field,
Exactly.
it's a lot of one-on-one, and they were going a lot of deep passes on him because Kirby wasn't on the field. When Kirby's on the field, these quarterbacks aren't throwing these deep balls like they normally do because he's a ball hawk. Like, he goes and gets that ball, so they're scared to throw that deep ball. So without Kirby on the field, it kind of opened it up to where it kind of put a lot of pressure on those cornerbacks. And I think next year, if we get Kirby back, that'll change a little bit because they'll be, not throwing as many deep balls, and you're not going to see more of those big plays that we kind of got beat by this past season.
Yeah, that's why next season, I feel like, as we're all saying, you throw talent at the offensive line and let the cream kind of rise to the top. I think you can be fine in that aspect. The defensive side of the ball, I got a lot of questions. They got to do stuff differently on the defensive side of the ball than they did this year. They got to bring some more guys in. It's going to be a lot of tough decisions, I think, to make on that side of the ball, but they need to get a lot faster. And if you want to play this man coverage, you got to get better in the secondary as well. So, but I wouldn't consider Terrion Arnold a bust at all. Not yet, no.
Not yet. Give him another year.
The injuries have really been the only thing. I think the second half of both his seasons, he performed well. A little grabby, obviously, but other than that, I think that he performed well and played the highest percentage of man coverage of any corner in the league his rookie season. Like, that's hard. That's really hard.
Yeah, the referees, they were picking on him a little bit. Some things.
Well, that just makes me, like, after some of these calls this season and stuff, I'm starting to believe maybe the NFL scripted.
Detroit versus everybody.
Yeah.
They have our number. They don't want us to win.
It's not just Detroit, dude. It's not just Detroit. Like, there's a lot of bad calls throughout this league this year that swayed games. And I'm thinking either somebody's got a lot of money rolling in Vegas and the referee's got some money on these games, or the NFL scripted.
I like that comment, Jason. Scott's last one.
Oh, Michigan's creeping back there.
Yeah,
didn't pop up on my side, Eric. That's
my bad. Okay, so you want me to read it off, or can you highlight it?
No, it's fine. No, you don't have to do nothing.
Okay, well, just making sure.
All right, Jason, we need to move into these AFC, NFC championship games so then we can get into the Super Bowl, and then I get my 2 minutes of Tim's golf in before this night wraps up.
Well,
look at Michigan's creeping back.
As the stage has been set. Wow, this bitch ain't even going to pull up for me. Oh, there it is. The Seattle Seahawks will be playing the New England Patriots in the Super Bowl. Sunday, February the 8th on NBC and Peacock from Levi Stadium in Santa Clara, California. Home of the 49ers. Seahawks and Patriots was my guess. I am not mad about this. I'm so glad to see Seattle. But Tim, I saw a stat, and it made me think of you. Did you know that the last few years that we have had a new pope, the Seattle Seahawks have made the Super Bowl? Did you know that?
I mean, he is an American Pope, so he picks an American team, which only makes sense because they're all American teams. But I don't know why it would have to be Seattle. Actually, you know, it was a more interesting stat that Chase told me.
Jason, why'd you bring this up?
Hold on.
Come on.
A more interesting stat that Chase told me that out of all the quarterbacks that were drafted in 2018, Sam Darnold is the only one so far that got to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And that includes Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, like Sam Darnold.
Hold on.
That's what Chase was telling me. I don't know if
Joe Burrow was not drafted in 18. He won the national championship in 19.
Okay, so
yeah, I'm like Joe Burrow.
No,
played.
Hold on. What year did
all those are true except for Joe?
Yeah, except for Joe. I might have added that name in.
It was Baker
I might have added that name in.
Lamar Jackson.
That was the name that he said.
Josh Allen.
He said Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, there you go.
So sorry, I got Joe Burrow on the brain. Hello,
yeah,
Joe.
I'm like, dude, he's made it. I'm like, he's made it to a Super Bowl. Like, what are you talking about?
No, it's just Joe Burrow's on the brain because I keep hearing about him possibly going to Minnesota.
That will not
so
happen.
He's on
that
my brain.
That will not happen.
That's the rumor right now is Minnesota might make a run for Joe Burrow. We'll see if it happens. They might be giving up on JJ and trying to make a run at Joe Burrow. But I don't even know. Joe Burrow's, to me, kind of a little bit of a bust. He's probably one of the best quarterbacks in the league, but he's injured nonstop. Constantly injured.
Because Cincinnati doesn't give him an offensive line. Give him an offensive line.
Yeah, I'm going to put that on Cincinnati.
Don't.
Yeah.
Joe Burrow's nice.
I'm gonna leave this show early just because that. Hold
on. For the last couple of years, Joe Burrow to me is the number 2 quarterback in the league. So I'm not knocking on Joe Burrow. I'm just saying he's injured a lot.
You just said
he's injured a lot. I don't know. I'm saying he might be. He's been injured a lot. Just because he goes to a team doesn't mean that he's not injured. Motherfucker's banged up all the time.
Because Cincinnati doesn't give him.
Is he good? Yes. Like I still give him credit.
He's better than that.
He's number 2.
He's better than that dude on your wall.
Unfortunately, he's never beat that dude.
Yes, he did.
He's the only one that's beat that dude in the playoffs.
Oh my God, Jason! Is this dude? His brains are scrambled.
Cincinnati won't spend no money.
Exactly. Thank you, CB. Thank you.
They're running it back this year again.
Dude,
and it's unbelievable.
You need to fix your brain right now.
I will say the Bengals are a bit incompetent, and also Joe Burrow did help me win a $1,400 cash prize in a fantasy football league. So I do like Joe Burrow, but
they call him Joe Burrow for a reason.
I like good. Joe Burrow too. Like I got him at number 2, right? Oh no, I got him at number 3. Technically, I got Josh Allen over him. To be honest,
okay. If Joe Burrow was on the Bills this year, it would be a Bills Seahawks Super Bowl. Josh Allen messed it up. I do like Josh Allen a lot. I do like Josh Allen a lot, but I'm gonna take Joe Burrow over that because he's made it to a Super Bowl.
He has.
And with not a good offensive line or a very good defense.
The one good season with the Bengals, and I do blame it on Cincinnati. I do 100%.
Now you do that. We informed you.
No. I've always Jason. How long have we been doing this podcast? How long has that said Joe Burrow has been like my number 3 quarterback in the league? I've always liked Joe Burrow. I'm worried about his injuries.
How many times did he get dropped on his head in wrestling, Jason? Too many?
Lot. Okay, I've had a lot of concussions.
This is making a lot of sense right now.
I've had a lot of concussions.
Get into your games. Stop frustrating me.
Let's get into this past week with the NFC and AFC championships. We got the first AFC championship. Defensive battle. Patriots 10 versus the Broncos 7. Like
it was horrible. It was horrible.
I mean, we've talked about this a couple weeks ago. You said it's a defensive battle. These low scoring games are the best games. Like it was all defense.
It was until the snow hit, and then it just
turned into a mess after that. But I love those games. You know who thrives in those games? Josh Allen. I love watching Josh Allen in snow games.
The snow games are great, but it was horrendous.
Well, let's look at these stats.
But you also had a backup quarterback, and you had a young quarterback. So yeah.
Drake May went for 86 yards.
He didn't even throw for a fucking 100 yards. It was
86 yards.
Horrible. It was fucking. I had a bet on him, and he screwed it up.
Stevenson 71 yards rushing.
Yeah.
Hollins 51 yards receiving. That was your winning team. Quarterback 86 yards.
Yeah, we know. It was not a good AFC.
Broncos. Stidham went for 133 and 1 touchdown.
He did.
Harvey went for 37 yards rushing. And Mims Jr. went for 62 yards receiving. That was our leading receiver.
Yep, and he threw that 1 touchdown to Courtland Sutton.
Yeah. Did you guys watch this game?
Unfortunately.
He threw that 1 touchdown, that 1 fumble.
Yep, he did.
That 1 interception.
Yep.
You think the Broncos are kicking their own asses for not going for the field goal on that when they went for it on the 4th and they're in the first half?
They ought to be.
Yeah. Like that was kind of a dumb move. Like I probably would have did that. But then if they didn't, we might still be watching this game to today. Like it might still be going on. Like not a very good game. Defensive battle. Two defenses that went at it. You know what I mean? And I question I question whether or not if Bo Nix was there, if this game would have turned out the same, to be honest. Like I think if Bo Nix was there, I think the Broncos might have been able to edge this one out.
I agree. I think that they would have won the game as well. I just think their defense was so ferocious. They were not giving Drake May much to work with. Obviously, the snow ended up being a factor later on in the game. But, I think Denver would have won that game if Bo Nix was out there. But Bo Nix is not necessarily a world beater either. So I can't say that he's like going to save anybody. But having to play a quarterback that hasn't thrown a pass until the AFC Championship game is kind of absurd. Kind of absurd.
Yeah, like it was.
Either way, I think they're not beating. Neither one of those teams are going to beat Seattle.
I don't think so. After watching Seattle play this past weekend, because I had the Rams going to the Super Bowl, and I really had that. I mean, obviously I'm a Stafford fan, so that's probably why I had the Rams picking it. But the Rams were just, to me, were an all around like just a legit team. But after watching them play the Seahawks one more time, the Seahawks are legit. I don't see. There's no way that I see New England beating the Seahawks in the Super Bowl. Like the Seahawks are just, they're there. Darnold has proved me wrong. I've said many times on this podcast, I thought Darnold was a choke artist in the playoffs. You put pressure on him and he was done, but he's proved me wrong this year. Like he's lived up to whatever he needed to live up to get to where he's at right now, and he's proven to be a winner. And I give him all the credit in the world because he didn't choke in that game, and he hasn't choked all season long, and he's been just killing it. Let's talk about what's that?
Who would have knew?
Yeah.
Yes,
Speaking of the Seahawks 31 over the Rams 27. Now this was a game. This was a fun game to watch. Both these teams just went at it. Darnold went for 346 with 3 touchdowns. Walker went for 62 yards rushing, 1 touchdown. Smith and Jigba went for 157 yards receiving, 1 touchdown. And the Rams side, Stafford went for 374 and 3 touchdowns. Corum went for 55 yards rushing, and Nakua 165 receiving, 1 touchdown. Nakua was a beast in this game. Like he was grabbing shit left and right. I was rooting on the Rams. I wanted them to win it, and there was some interesting calls to where they went for it on 4th down too, which maybe they shouldn't have. You know, like these 4th down calls have been killing teams this year. I mean, not only did they kill the Lions a lot this year. We talked. I've said this before on the podcast. Like I wish Dan Campbell would have just not went for it on so many 4th downs, took the points, and they would have won more games. Same thing with the Bears in the playoffs. If the Bears would have just not went for it on 4th downs, took the points, they would probably still be in the playoffs. And now we look at the Rams. They kind of had a similar situation. Now we're talking about the Broncos in the last game too, but the Seahawks outplayed the Rams in this one regardless. Like.
Yeah, I think that fumble on special teams definitely did the Rams in. The Rams special teams have been problematic all season, and it came back to collect.
Yeah, that's been an issue all season.
I just love that Seattle defense. I really love the way that they play. I already mentioned Eamon Warren, but I mean the defensive front is really impressive. The secondary, Devon Witherspoon. He was a guy that I know the Lions for sure wanted to pick that one year that they ended up picking Jahmyr Gibbs. They wanted him bad. And when he went number 5, they instantly jumped back and were like, okay, well, we didn't get the guy that we wanted. We're going to move back. He is a dog. He's a legit, like, all-pro type player. And they got so many guys on that defense. They play the right way. And, again, you got to give a lot of credit to Mike McDonald, of course, University of Michigan, former defensive coordinator. I mean, we saw it here. Like the defensive acumen is just like top tier. So for him to be succeeding, I love the way they play football. JSN is an O-State guy, but I mean, he's a baller. He's absolutely a baller. AJ Barner, Michigan guy. Kenneth Walker, Michigan State guy. Charbonnet, former Michigan guy. A lot of Michigan State guys around there. But I think that they are the best team. I do think that they deserve it. And McDonald just deserves so much credit because I did not see this coming.
No, I don't think any of us predicted Seattle and New England to be in the Super Bowl this year at all. And like you said, Smith and Jigba, you went to wide receiver U for a reason, so that's why he's one of the best. And yeah, and if you look at any other receivers that came out, they ain't really doing as good as he is. He definitely was the top one there. Like Marvin Harrison Jr., great in college. Nah, Arizona, not really the great. Unless he goes.
You gotta give him 1 more year.
Yeah, I give him 1 more year. I will, but I'm like, if he were to go somewhere better, like if he was in Seattle, he'd probably be in that conversation where JSM is.
Yeah, he's a guy that I think definitely a buy low team should definitely take an option with if the Cardinals aren't going to do anything with them. But JSN is a dog. Him and Puka are just dogs. And
Puka's a different animal. Puka's a different animal, man.
And they don't look like, they're not like super big necessarily, super fast guys, but they will beat you to the ball. Like they want the ball more than you do, flat out.
Mm-hmm.
They get open. They remind me of, I don't think any of us are fans of teams that are picking high in this draft, but Mekhi Lemon from USC. I think he's kind of in that same mold of guys where you throw the ball up to him, it's not a 50-50. It's like an 80-20. He's coming down with that thing. So
that's fair. That's fair.
Those guys are dogs. They are absolute dogs.
Okay. So who do we got for our Super Bowl picks? Who we got for our Super Bowl winner?
Seattle.
Seahawks, big.
Okay.
I'm going Seattle too.
Jason?
Oh yeah. Yep.
Wow. We're Seattle across the board.
There's just the look.
Yeah.
I don't know who made the comment earlier, but New England had a huge problem trying to get over Denver without Bo Nix.
That's true.
Yeah, look, the Patriots are a great story this year. Nobody's seen it coming for the AFC. Not when you started out with the Chiefs and the Bills and your regular powerhouse.
Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens.
The fact that they're in this spot is a Cinderella story in a lot of regards. But the Seattle Seahawks, they are on a different level when you put them on this platform.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm with Keith here. This is going to be a huge Seattle win. Like this is not. If this is closer than 21 points, two teams, I'll be surprised. I'm expecting Seattle to go in to Levi Stadium and steamroll the New England Patriots.
I don't know if I'd go steamroll.
Yeah, Seattle defense is nice. Seattle got a nice defense.
They do, and I don't know if I see a steamroll myself. I mean, I see Seattle winning, but I also have counted New England out so many times this season that I'm not going to do it anymore. Like I think it's going to be. I don't think it's going to be steamroll. I think it's going to be a close game. I still have Seattle out on top, but I'm not a believer in Drake May, but I'm also slightly becoming a believer in Drake May. Like he just beat what he's done. I mean, they had to go through Houston. That's #1 defense in the league. Then they had to go through Denver. One of the number 2 defense in the league, arguably. Yeah. And he's beat both of those. I know they had trouble going over Denver with Stidham, but they were going against the number 2 defense in the league. Like it's legit, and I'm not going to doubt on New England, but I just think the powerhouse is Seattle this year.
Yeah, I look at New England's offense, in particular with them struggling the way they did against Denver, even before the snow came out. And I look at Seattle's defense is just around the same range as Denver's. Maybe not quite as good, but almost as good. And I just don't see New England scoring a lot of points. I mean, their run game is very inconsistent. The offensive line has been struggling, as we can see, when they have to face top-tier pass rushers. The wide receiver group is like average, maybe slightly above. I just don't see how they move the ball a ton. Josh McDaniels is a great offensive mind. Maybe he'll figure something out, some trick plays, some creative concepts, but I don't see how New England scores more than maybe 14-ish points in this game. And Seattle, I think, is going to put up more points on New England's defense because I also don't think their defense is that good.
They're good, but yeah, I agree with you. I don't think they're that good. But I don't see it being a blowout. I could see it like a 14-21 game. Roughly. I think it's going to be a 1-score game. Maybe like a 10-point game, maybe 14-24, somewhere around there. But I don't see it being a complete 21-point 6-point blowout. You know, it's because the New England defenses, they're good. They're not great, but I think they're good enough to keep them in this game somewhat close.
They will. It'll be a closer game than what we think it will be, but you know, maybe Jason's right. Maybe maybe they'll just come in and just know what they want to do and be ready for it.
I don't know, man. Like, I follow this guy. This guy's a Carolina Panthers fan, and I followed him all season long, and it bit me more times than not.
That's true.
So,
That's true. I was catching up at the end of the season. You still got to cash in on that dinner.
oh yeah, I still do have to cash in on that dinner there, Jason.
Do it when his beard's maize and blue.
Fuck that. That is not going to happen. No. Before we get into the last segment of the show, let me do a quick programming note here. I have a graphic. It's not going to pop up, but
No.
Earlier in the show, friend of the show, Zach, had put something up here about when we talking about Royal Rumble. We're going to be doing that Friday with back-to-back shows. On Friday morning, the Hot Tag is making a one day only return to the airwaves. Sean Grugel and I are going to be looking at the Royal Rumble, and then at 6 o'clock, the Fatal 4-Way will also be previewing it, and that will be live on ON TV. Check out their listings on Facebook and YouTube at 6 p.m. So this Friday, we're covering all things WWE Royal Rumble in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. So there's your programming note. Tim, let's go ahead and do your 2 minutes of golf talk.
This is Tim's 2 minutes of golf, brought to you by the Sports Reel Podcast.
I'm timing you.
Sorry if you guys don't listen to or pay attention to golf, but I love golf, so I'm going to cover golf. We had the American Express Championship this past weekend, which happened to be Scotty Scheffler's first start of the season and his first win of the season. He ended up going 5 strokes up to win this thing. So Scotty is off to a hot start once again. And is he going to be dominant in 2026? I imagine so. So let's see how many majors he can win in 2026. We had a 4-way tie at second. We had Gerard, McCarty, Day, and Putnam.
Yeah, we got to give you some hockey names eventually.
Yeah. They were all 23 under. Then we had a 2-way tie for 6. We had Stevens and Kim at 22 under. And then 6-way tie at 8th. We had Thigala, Lee, Hoagie, Henley, Smotherman, all at -21. And then I threw Wyndham Clark in at -20. So once again, a dominant performance by Scotty Scheffler. It's going to be, I imagine, his year again. And we're looking forward to
time will tell.
This weekend. The Farmers Insurance Open is coming up, and it's going to be the return of Brooks Koepka. So we'll see how Scotty can start playing as we have our first departure from Live Golf back to the PGA Tour, and Brooks Koepka bringing a little competition back to the PGA Tour to kind of stand up to Scotty. I haven't seen Rory McIlroy make a start yet this year. I'm waiting for him to kind of jump on and make a start to see how he does, but he's kind of wrapped up in the TGL Golf Series right now. So we're excited about the Farmers this weekend to see the return of Brooks. Do you guys follow golf at all?
No.
I'd be lying if I said yes.
It's all good. Not too many people do. Usually we have people that jump on the show and then leave as soon as I start talking about golf. So, but it's something that I enjoy. So I like talking about it. That's why it's only a Tim's 2 minutes of golf.
I do find golf to be very interesting, and I will say if there's like a major going on, I will watch the back 18 holes for sure. But outside of that, I can't say. I didn't know that there was golf going on in January. I did.
Yeah, it's just the PGA Tour just started up, and it's early on. We're kind of building up to the first major of the year. Actually, the Players will come before that, which is not really a major, but it's considered one of the premium events of the PGA. It's not a major, but it's kind of on that level of a major without being a major. So we'll see how that one goes. But the Masters is coming up in April. That's one I'm really building up to watch and see. And I'm waiting to see if Tiger actually gets healthy enough to actually come back and play the Masters this year, because I love watching Tiger play. Even if he's not as good as he used to be, he's getting up there in age, and he's a little banged up. He just had back surgery, but it's still exciting to see him go out there on the course. Like the guy's just the greatest of all time, and I like watching him anytime that he can play. So being able to see him play on these majors is exciting. So I'm hoping that he comes back before then. We'll have to wait and see. I know he started chipping and putting here recently, so hopefully he'll be back in the swing of things by April. So other than that, that is Tim's 2 minutes of golf. It's 3 minutes and 18 seconds. Eric, fucking time me.
Yeah,
Just to say.
Let's see. I want to
Tim's
see.
3 minutes and 18 seconds of golf brought to you by the Sports Reel podcast.
I'll give you that. That was close, though. That was close.
Well, oh, man. Good show this week, ladies and gentlemen. We certainly appreciate everybody tuning in. CB and Keith from the 411 podcast. Check them out on TikTok. Check them out on other realms of social media. We certainly appreciate you guys being on the show with us this week. And anytime you're available, we would love to have you back.
Yes,
Thank you. We would
absolutely.
love
Very
to
much
be back.
appreciate being on here. Yeah, very much appreciated being on here. Very great show. I love the production. You guys do a great job. I will definitely be checking y'all out, tuning in to y'all in the future.
Well, hopefully when this thing uploads on Spotify later on this evening on the RSS feed, they will get their shit together and my graphics will actually pop up on the screen. Because you just say, it adds to it. You know what I mean? But be that as it may, Tim and Eric, always great to talk to you guys, and we will see you next week. For everybody else, thank you for tuning in. Check out the Hot Tag on Friday morning here on the PFC network platforms beginning at 10:30, and then ONTV live at 6 p.m. for the Fatal 4-Way. With that, go out, be awesome to yourselves and to each other. We'll see you right back here next week for the Sports Reel podcast on the PFC Entertainment Network.
Let's go Pistons.
Go Red Wings. And go Seahawks.
Seahawks.